Hello people, welcome to Night Out Notes. In today's video, we are going to understand functional dependency in DBMS. This is one of the most important concepts because functional dependency is the foundation of normalization. What is functional dependency? Functional dependency simply tells us how one attribute is depending on another attribute. It describes the relationship and it describes how one attribute is depending on another, and it tells the value of one attribute determines the value of another. Like here we are considering A determines B. Is this meant by determine symbol, this arrow. Here this arrow meant by determine symbol. A determines B. Here whereas A is determinant, B is dependent. Like because A is determining B, A is representing B here, right? And B is dependent on B. Based upon the A value only, B is dependent. So here A is dependent on B. This is a rough example of the functional dependency. For suppose the name of the student was not known and student ID was 101. If the student ID was there and the name was not known, we can represent using student ID. Like here student ID determines student name. By which we can say that using the student ID, we can say the student name, right? So that it is dependent on this. Using a rough example, we can understand this functional dependency easily. Yeah, we are considering this Amazon orders table. Here we are having order ID, customer and product. And also order ID can also represent the product, like order ID 101, what product he took, like laptop he was taken. All these things can be easily represented using this functional dependency. This is generally used to remove redundancy, like duplications may occur, right? Redundancy is nothing but duplications. There may be a chance of duplicate records, more than one times the Rahul name is repeated. So the database cannot store all those things, right? It becomes the mess and large amount of data is being stored into the single database. So this is not preferably used. So that it is helping to remove the redundancy in that specific records. And it is the foundation of normalization. Before understanding the normalization concept, we first need to understand what is functional dependency, so that it will become very much easy to understand the normalization concepts. We are having four types of functional dependencies. Here first one is a trivial functional dependency, which is also a easy functional dependency. We can also say this is a useless dependency because all the terms in the right side are already present in the left side. Here see, all the term attributes on the right side is already present in the left side. This is what I meant to say. All the things which are there in the B are already present in the A. Without using the table only, we can easily identify what are all the things present in that specific table. Like let's consider this example, student ID name. Here these are all considered as A and this name individually called as B. Name is already present inside this A, right? So without confirming into our table, we can easily find the name is already present, so that student ID name determines this name. And also we can say B is the subset of A because we are already having this name in that A. So there is no need of specifying the table. Next one comes non-trivial functional dependency. In this, the attributes on the right side are not present in the left side. Like A determines B and B is not the subset of A. Like elements in B are not present in the A. Like let's see using an example. Here student ID marks are there in this. And using the student ID and marks, we can find the name. Let's consider an example using a table. Here we are having student ID, name, marks, branch. Here 1, 2, 3, name X, Y, Z, marks 10, 15, 25, branch AI, CSE, EEE. So using this student ID and marks, we can find who is the name, right? Who got this marks? So all these things said by this non-trivial functional dependency. Using this A, we can be finding this B. Like using these things, we can find the name. Next comes multi-valued functional dependency. It exists when one attribute determines multiple independent values of another attribute. Like for example, let me consider this A refers to, A determines B comma C. Here A determines B and A also determines C, whereas B cannot determine C and C cannot determine B. This is what I have said. A determines B and C, and B and C should not be dependent. And C C should not be dependent. Here B is not dependent on C and C is not dependent on B. These are not functionally dependent. This is what I have read. And using this example, we understand like student ID, hobby and language are there in this table. Using this student ID, we can find out which hobby he knows. And also using this same student ID, we can find which language he known. But using this hobby, we cannot find which language he known. And using this language, we cannot find this hobby, right? So using this only, we can find this two. This is what I have written. Student ID is used to find hobby and language. And whereas using this hobby, we cannot find this language, right? So this is what a multi-valued functional dependency says. Next, transitive functional dependency. It exists when one attribute determines another attribute indirectly through an intermediate attribute. This is one of the most important functional dependency in third normal form. Here A determines B and B determines C. Like A is not directly dependent on C, right? So indirectly A can also determine C. This is what the transitive dependency says. For example, let's consider this table as an example with student ID, department ID and department name. Using this student ID, we can find this department ID, and using this department ID, we can find the department name as they are determining each other. Like student ID determines department ID and department ID determines this department name. So that student ID can also determine this department name. So this we can say that as one attribute reaches another attribute through a middle attribute, like this is reaching this attribute using this attribute. This is what the transitive functional dependency meant by. So in today's video, we understood what functional dependency and 4 important types. Trivial functional dependency, non-trivial functional dependency, multi-valued functional dependency and transitive functional dependency. These concepts are very important because they are further used in normalization. We'll learn those normalization in this next video. Yeah, that's all about functional dependency. Hope you like this video. Until then, don't forget to hit that bell icon and subscribe to my channel so that you will get more informative videos like this. If you found this video really interesting, please like and share. Meet you in another video. Bye bye.